Well, a great deal of confusion and controversy surrounds the issue of parental alienation syndrome. Live at 5's family attorney, Sonia Kaufman, joins us now with more. And I guess we should start with what exactly is parent alienation syndrome?
It is a term used to describe an intense dislike of a child towards one of the parents. And it's when this occurs when there's no logical explanation for that feeling and the behavior. And it often manifests in terms of not wanting to visit the other parent, not having respect for that other parent. It's a really tough situation to deal with.
So how can it be monitored?
Well, I think what the counselors and the psychologists can help with is trying to get to the bottom of why the child feels that way. If it's behavior on the part of the parent that is
the opposite parent,
right, then that's something that needs to be addressed, because sometimes parents can convey subtle messages about the way they feel about the other parent without meaning to. And sometimes it's deliberate by making the comments and criticizing the behavior of the other parent. And it's a very detrimental thing for the child, something that parents should work hard to avoid.
So do kids get counseling?
Yes, counselors can help with that, psychologists can help with that, and if it's extreme, if a parent is found to be at fault in causing that behavior or contributing to it, it can sometimes be a means by which custody is changed. So it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough, and it sounds like a long, tedious process to get to that point to figure out that that's exactly what it is. Do we have some of those cases? I mean, do you see some of those?
We do. We see them more often than we used to, when kids just flat refuse to go for visitation, and it puts the primary parent in a bad spot because they have a court order that has to be followed, but they have a child that's just saying, I'm not going. And you have to figure out what's going on, and often counseling will help with that.
So, folks, if they are dealing with something like that, they need to get some counseling? I
think so, yes.
Okay. We've got a question. There's a same-sex divorce case before the Court of Appeals in Dallas. It's an interesting legal argument. The Texas Constitution and the Texas Defense of Marriage Act prevents same-sex unions and marriages in this state. So why should Texas courts grant same-sex divorces, or do they?
That's a good question. There's a test case on appeal in the Court of Appeals in Dallas, and the Attorney General of the state of Texas has intervened in that case, saying that it is a constitutional challenge, that we cannot, our courts cannot grant divorces when we do not accept that as a valid marriage. But on the other hand, the full faith and credit clause says that Texas has to give credence to the laws of other states, even if they're different from our own. So Texas courts grant divorces all the time for people who were married in other states where the laws are different. So it's an interesting question whether this will be treated differently from those cases.
So just only time will tell on that.
Time will tell. I think it's going to probably be a big constitutional challenge in the next few years.
Well, Sonia, thanks so much for stopping by and offering your advice. We appreciate it. And if you have a question about family law, all you need to do is send us your questions. You can mail them to us. You can fax them 892-7305 or email them to laf@kfdm.com.